The story begins in Berlin, the capital of Germany, where a mysterious man named Devil is discussing a plan to spread evil across the world with one of his partners. From the outside, he doesn't look like any devil at all, but just an ordinary man, yet his goal is extremely dangerous, to turn the entire world toward darkness. Devil has a daughter named Lilith. She often keeps causing trouble and even annoys her father with her mischievous acts. One day, when Devil returns home, he finds out that Lilith has tied her teacher to a chair. Seeing this, Devil gets very angry and immediately frees the teacher while scolding Lilith. The teacher talks about quitting the job, but he is stopped and told to continue working. In reality, Devil wants Lilith to become just like him and eventually take his place. That's why he has been training her in evil since childhood, so she can lead humans onto the wrong path. After some time, Lilith starts getting bored of this training and wants to enter the human world to prove herself. She offers her father a deal that she should be allowed to live among humans for 1 year so she can show how she can use them to spread evil. Devil first refuses, but later agrees to send her into the human world for just 1 week under one condition. If she performs well, she will be allowed to stay longer. After this, Lilith is sent to a small town school. Her mission is to turn a girl named Greta toward evil. Before leaving, Devil gives her a special magical ball that measures her emotions. If it stays black, it means she is on the right path, and if its color changes, it means goodness is growing inside her. When Lilith arrives at Greta's house, Greta and her mother Sybil warmly welcome her. Now Lilith is going to stay with them for 1 week, and this is where her real test is about to begin. After dinner, when everyone was getting ready to wash the dishes, Lilith intentionally asked Greta for the dishes, but instead of being careful, she drops them on purpose while trying to cause trouble, and some of the dishes break. Just then, Greta's mother Sybil arrives there, and the situation becomes a little tense. But to everyone's surprise, instead of admitting her mistake, Greta takes the blame on herself. Seeing this, even Lilith gets shocked because she can't understand why someone would do that for her. Greta's parents accept her with a lot of love and don't show any strictness at all. Watching all this, Lilith is surprised because she has never seen such kind heart in her room, showing that she likes someone but can't express it. The next morning, Lilith refuses to go to school by bicycle and forces Greta to go with her on the bus. Inside the bus, Greta greets her classmates Melody and Daria, but they ignore her. Then, a boy named Eddie boards the bus with his friends and starts mocking other kids. He also misbehaves with Greta and sticks chewing gum in her hair. Seeing this, Lilith gets furious and decides to teach him a lesson. She takes Melody's perfume into her mouth and, using a lighter, suddenly releases a fire-like power and burns Eddie's hair. Eddie gets scared and hides in a corner, and the entire bus falls into silence. When they reach school, Lilith sees many children and Principal Penhoff gathered near a building. It turns out that a boy named Samuel has climbed onto the roof and refuses to come down. Principal Penhoff, who is also Eddie's father, tries to convince him. When he threatens to call the police, Samuel gets scared and comes down and goes back to class. That same day, the teacher gives all the students a test, but Samuel leaves the class without writing anything, while the other kids quietly complete their test. Lilith searched the entire test online and, using the answer she found, copied everything word for word into her answer sheet. She felt like she had pulled off something very clever, but just as she was about to hand in her test paper to the teacher, Greta noticed that Lilith had written the wrong answers. Instantly, Greta quickly snatched the paper from Lilith's hand and even put it in her mouth and chewed it. After coming out of the class, Greta told Lilith the truth, that she had written the answers of test A instead of test B. If Greta had not eaten that paper, the teacher would have immediately realized that Lilith had cheated, and her very first day at school would have been ruined. After this, during the break time, Lilith's attention goes to a boy Greta used to like, Carlo. But Carlo was a big flirt who kept chasing one girl after another every day. Greta explains that she has never gathered the courage to confess her feelings to Carlo. Hearing this, a new plan forms in Lilith's mind. She directly goes to Carlo and offers him money to take Greta on a date. She gives him half the money in advance and says he will get the rest after 3 days, once he breaks Greta's heart and proves she is not right for him. Carlo accepts the offer and goes to talk to Greta. Meanwhile, Lilith notices Samuel and starts getting a little interested in him. At the same time, Eddie arrives there because Samuel had stolen his watch, but Samuel somehow manages to escape from there. Seeing this, Lilith starts mocking Eddie. Eddie, in anger, calls his friends and tries to teach Lilith a lesson, but Lilith doesn't get scared at all. She picks up a signboard and confronts them, forcing all of them to step back. Seeing her power, Eddie gets frightened and runs away from there. Samuel had also started liking Lilith, so he takes her to a cafe to have coffee. During their conversation, Samuel tells her that he is soon going to Berlin because he wants to leave this school and this city behind and start a new life somewhere else. While talking, Lilith says that she has never seen the sea in her life. Hearing this, Samuel smiles and says that if she wants, they can climb a tall tower and see the sea from a distance. That day, Lilith also visits a church for the first time, and seeing the atmosphere there, she feels a little strange and nervous, as if everything is new and unfamiliar to her. After that, both of them reach a tall tower, from where the vast sea can be seen spreading far away. Seeing this view, Lilith becomes calm for a few moments. At that same moment, Samuel suddenly kisses Lilith, but she gets very nervous. She immediately pushes him away and leaves from there. After returning home, Lilith tells Greta everything that happened. Greta understands that something is slowly changing inside Lilith. Feelings and emotions like love are starting to grow in her heart, but Lilith refuses to accept that she is changing. She takes out the magical locker given by her father and sees that its color has started changing. Seeing this, she gets scared. At that moment, her father Devil calls her. He tells her that he fired a man just because he fell in love. Devil believes that love makes demons weak and useless. Now, to distract Lilith from Samuel, she starts preparing Greta for a date with Carlo. Greta dresses up nicely and applies makeup for the first time, and when she sees herself in the mirror, she becomes very happy and thanks Lilith. Just then, a sound comes from outside the window. Lilith looks out and finds that Samuel has come to meet her. Lilith immediately goes to the rooftop. Samuel tells her that he is sorry for that sudden kiss that day and asks if they can go on a date again. But this time, Lilith clearly refuses, and without saying anything, she goes back to her room. The next morning, when Greta was getting ready for school, her mother Sybil objected to her clothes and stopped her. She wanted Greta to wear something more simple and proper. Lilith supported Greta, but Sybil didn't listen to either of them, and in the end, changed their outfits anyway. Both of them were made to wear frocks and sent to school. As soon as they reached the bus stop, Melody and Daria started making fun of their clothes. Both of them kept teasing Greta and Lilith. Meanwhile, Eddie arrived with the intention of taking revenge and tried to burn Lilith's hair, but he had no idea that Lilith was actually the daughter of Devil. The fire had no effect on her at all. Without any fear, Lilith gives Eddie a strong punch, and he immediately falls unconscious right there. After this, Lilith tells Melody and Daria that Greta's mother Sybil is not an ordinary person, but a famous fashion designer from New York. To prove her point, Lilith clicks some pictures of Greta and uses Photoshop to create a fake website so that everyone believes these clothes are designed by Sybil. After some time, during the break, Lilith meets Samuel. Samuel asks her to come to the beach, and this time Lilith agrees. On the other side, Melody and Daria see the website and get impressed by Greta's frock and start asking her for clothes. Lilith also gives Greta a makeup kit so she can get ready for her date with Carlo. After that, Lilith steals Eddie's bicycle and somehow learns to ride it and reaches the beach to meet Samuel. Reaching the seaside, Lilith becomes very happy and runs toward the water. Both of them enjoy a lot there and then lie down on the sand to relax. During this time, Samuel kisses Lilith once again, but this time, Lilith doesn't stop him and gets carried away with her feelings. Meanwhile, in the afternoon, Greta goes to the school auditorium with Carlo, where Melody and Daria are preparing for the music festival. Carlo finds out that Greta sings in church, so he calls her on stage. Hearing Greta's sweet voice, Carlo becomes quite impressed. Then all three girls start practicing the song together. At that moment, Professor Siddell arrives and informs them that the director has canceled Melody and Daria's permission to perform in the festival because their past behavior made them untrustworthy. On the other side, after spending time at the beach, Samuel and Lilith go to eat ice cream. There, Lilith receives several messages from her father, Devil. When she reads them, she realizes that if she keeps staying close to humans like this, her evil training and her mission will come to an end. Thinking this, she gets scared, and suddenly, without telling Samuel anything, she leaves him and runs away from there. Meanwhile, Greta and Carlo are returning home together. Carlo asks her to join his band, and for a moment they start getting closer. But just then, Greta's father Gabriel arrives there and tells her to come home immediately. Greta leaves with him in fear, but once she reaches home, she completely breaks down and starts crying in her room. Lilith immediately goes to her and tries to calm her down. Greta emotionally says that she is very happy to have a friend like Lilith. In the afternoon, Lilith and Greta are working in the garden when Lilith finally tells Greta the truth about her father's condition, that she will soon have to return to her own home because she has started feeling human goodness inside her. Hearing this, Greta hugs her and says she will not let her go, and instead will help her complete her mission. The next day, both of them go to deliver new dresses for Melody and Daria. Just then, Greta comes outside and bumps into Carlo. Carlo tries to continue what happened before, but Lilith stops him in between. Lilith takes Carlo aside and tells him to break the deal and not play with Greta's feelings. But this time comes a big twist. Carlo tells the truth that he was never planning to betray Greta. Instead, he has actually fallen in love with her. He even returns the money Lilith gave him and tells Greta everything. When Greta finds out that Lilith paid Carlo to break her heart, she gets very angry. She says she never thought Lilith could fall so low. Greta walks away from there, and Lilith is left alone. After some time, Lilith receives a message from Samuel. She goes to meet him at the beach. There, Samuel folds his train ticket and puts it into a bottle and throws it into the sea in front of her. He says that he has given up his dream of going to Berlin because he cannot stay away from Lilith. Hearing this, Lilith becomes even more disturbed. She realizes that Samuel is giving up his dreams for her. Now she tries to distance herself on purpose. In anger, she says that meeting Samuel was her biggest mistake, and because of him, she is losing control over her emotions. Finally, she breaks up with Samuel and returns to school with tears in her eyes. After school, Lilith sees Greta getting on the bus, so she quickly follows her and also gets on board. Inside the bus, Lilith tells Greta that she really likes Samuel, but still she left him. Hearing this, Greta gets shocked and asks why she did that if she liked him. Lilith replies that if her father finds out she has fallen in love, he will never allow her to stay in the human world. On this, Greta jokingly says, "Who is going to tell your dad?" Who goes and reports their own romance. Just then, Lilith shows her the magical ball that measures her emotions. She says it should always stay black, but now it is starting to turn pink, which means feelings of goodness and love are growing inside her. Lilith, worried, says she tried very hard to be evil, but she is not the person she was meant to be. She doesn't understand what to do now, because her father is going to take her back the next day. Greta understands her situation and decides to help her. After some time, on Saturday, a music competition is about to take place. Greta's parents bring her and Lilith to the school. There, preparations for fundraising are also going on. Greta's father, Gabriel, decides to donate a big and heavy vegetable, zucchini, that he grew in his garden. While Greta is taking it inside, she asks Lilith when her father will arrive. Lilith says he will reach soon. Meanwhile, Greta meets Melody and Daria. She asks Lilith to handle the seats in the auditorium and goes with them. Now all three girls talk about their secret plan, which they are going to execute during today's show. On the other side, Carlo comes to talk to Greta, but Melody and Daria go backstage to complete their plan. Carlo slowly realizes that something is wrong and that they are planning revenge against the principal. At the same time, Melody and Daria secretly sprinkle itchy powder on the participants' costumes. Just then, Devil suddenly arrives at the school. As he walks in, people around him start moving away because they can feel his dark and scary energy. Finally, Devil reaches the auditorium and Lilith goes and sits next to him. Professor Siddell calls Principal Penhoff onto the stage, and meanwhile Devil asks Lilith whether she has succeeded in leading Greta onto the path of evil or not. Hearing this, Lilith stays silent because she has no answer that her father wants to hear. Devil tells her that she has disappointed him a lot. On stage, Penhoff starts talking about his Africa trip, but suddenly the entire audience bursts into laughter. He cannot understand why people are laughing. When he looks behind, he realizes that some wrong pictures are being shown on the screen. In anger, he starts shouting at Professor Siddell, but he has no idea that Carlo is actually behind all of this. After this, the musical performance begins. Eddie comes on stage wearing a red cap, but as soon as he removes it, the audience laughs, seeing his burnt hair. Watching this, Devil feels proud of his daughter, because chaos has now spread across the festival. As Eddie's band starts performing, the itchy powder begins to take effect, and all the members start feeling uncomfortable and run off the stage. Devil thinks that Greta must be behind this, because she is not visible in the audience. Suddenly, the stage curtain drops, and Carlo starts the music so that Greta and her friends can perform. All three girls come on stage and start dancing. The principal tries to stop them, but they continue performing without any fear. In anger, Penhoff grabs Professor Siddell and tries to hit him, but this time, Siddell turns around and knocks him out with a single slap. Meanwhile, when Devil sees Greta performing with such confidence and happiness, he praises Lilith. After the performance, Greta thanks Lilith in front of everyone for giving her the courage to follow her heart. Greta even throws her mother Sybil's designed dress into the audience, and girls rush to grab it. Seeing this, Sybil feels very happy. During the break, Devil praises Lilith for her work, saying that even experienced demons like him cannot create such impact in such a short time. Before leaving, Devil asks Lilith if she really wants to stay in the human world. Lilith says yes. Devil asks her to check the magical ball one last time, but this time its color does not change, which surprises him. When he asks her to choose a city, Lilith says she wants to stay here. Devil gives her a card and leaves. After After that, Greta comes and asks if their plan worked. Lilith tells her that she is going to stay here. Both of them hug each other. Then Lilith finds out that Greta was actually the mastermind behind the whole festival plan. She gets happy seeing her intelligence. Later, Greta apologizes to her parents, but Sybil feels proud of her performance. Then Greta goes to Carlo and tells him that their plan was successful. Both of them kiss each other. Seeing this, Samuel walks away sadly because he is upset with Lilith, but Lilith stops him and apologizes for all her mistakes. She confesses her love in front of Samuel. Samuel forgives her and decides to stay in the city with her. In the end, Lilith burns his train ticket with her powers so that he cannot leave anywhere. And thus, everyone gets their partner, and the story ends with a happy ending. If you liked this recap, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you can get more amazing stories like this. See you in the next video.